All right, hey, ladies and gentlemen, all across the globe, this is another edition from Paprovipublishing and your wonderful author, ladies and gentlemen, CEO and founder, Dr. Laquita Parks. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I tell you, it is always a pleasure to be here on the MLT Network. Again, I am Laquita Parks. I am the CEO and founder of Paprovipublishing, and Paprov is Pain, Progress, Victory. Because I believe without pain, there is no progress, and without progress, there can be no victory. I am so excited to be here today because we have some amazing, phenomenal women who are not only just amazing, phenomenal women, they are authors. They are not just authors, they are #1 Amazon best-selling authors of the new book, Our Journey from Girls to Women. And I am so excited. So first of all, before we get started, let me say a congratulations to each one of you for your stories, your chapters in Our Journey from Girls to Women. Thank you so much for going through the process. Thank you for trusting me to help you take your stories from a thought to a realization. So it has been a pleasure for me. And I know that I'm at an advantage because I know all of your stories. And you guys only know your stories. So I get to go in and talk to you guys about the why behind your stories and ask a couple of questions. But we're not going to give away everything. When you guys start to share your stories, do not give away everything, because what they have to do, Kevin, got to buy the book. Got to buy the book. Okay? You have to buy the book. So each one of these ladies are selling the book. You can see any one of them to purchase their book. You do not want to miss these stories. 26 women in the book, 25 stories with Melissa Summers, radio personality Melissa Summers, rendering the foreword for the book. Thank you so much, Melissa. I am super excited. So without further ado, we're going to go around and have you introduce yourselves. And we're going to start with Dr. Patricia Lawton. Please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and the title chapter.
Good evening. My name is Patricia Lawton, Dr. Patricia Lawton. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina, and the title of my book is Walking on the Edge of Purpose.
Yes, I love that. Walking on the edge of purpose. Listen, y'all might want to take some notes, okay? Walking on the edge of purpose. All right, Miss Inez, you're up next.
Good evening, each and every one of you all around the world. I'm from all around the world. I've been here, I've been there, but I am currently located in Tampa, Florida. And my name is Miss Inez, a fashion designer, as well as #1 best-selling author, darling. And the name of my chapter is From Scaredy Cat to All That, Almost. And so you guys got to buy the book to figure out the rest of my story why I was such a scaredy cat.
I love that. I see somebody smiling on here because they can relate to that scaredy cat thing. So I'm not gonna call any names, Miss Mary. But I know your story. So that's the fun part. I know how all of these stories connect. So Miss Mary, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and your chapter title.
I am Mary Beal from Cordele, Georgia. I'm a family historian. So my chapter is about family. I'm the middle child. The chapter title is Middle Child, Middle Girl. And more to come, as Paul Harvey says, for the rest of the story, you have to buy the book.
Got to buy the book. You got to buy the book. You got to buy the book. Okay? Buy the book. Got to buy the book. All right. Miss Shanita Dawson, Uwake. I know I messed that up. I just slaughtered that. I apologize. Say your name, girl.
I mess it up a lot of myself. Shanita Dawson Agwoke. I am Shanita Dawson Agwoke. I'm currently a resident of Tennessee. The title of my chapter is called Trauma Tried to Kill Me.
Trauma tried to kill me. And I when I get to you, we got some funny stories. So when I get to you, Shanita, we'll bring it up how I inadvertently changed the title of her
Exactly.
story. Okay. Didn't do it on purpose, but it worked out. It worked out.
Good.
Yes. Jacqueline Jackson, your turn.
All right. Hello, my name is Jacqueline L. And I reside in Atlanta, Georgia. And the foundation is from Valdosta, Georgia. And the title of my book, of my excerpt, is called Hello Food. Hello Food. And you gotta buy it. You gotta buy it so you'll know what to eat and what not to eat.
There you
Stay
go.
tuned.
You got to buy the book. You got to buy it. Thank you, Jacqueline. You got to buy it.
You gotta
Miss
buy the book.
Carolyn
You gotta buy the
Coleman.
book.
Hello, how's everyone? I'm Carolyn Coleman. I'm from Alabama, and the title of my chapter is Guess What? I Grew Up.
Yes. Y'all not ready. Listen, you guys are not ready for this book. So you gotta get it's in pre-order now. Order the book. You can order the book now from any one of these ladies. Order the book. Desiree.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, my name is Desiree Williams. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and the title of my book is When You Ask God Why. And there are several reasons I had to ask God why. But if you want to know, gotta buy the book.
Gotta buy the book. Gotta buy the book. All right. Macia Bomani. Messiah. Macia. You're on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I am Macia Bomani. I live in Jacksonville, Florida, but I am originally from ATL. And the title of my award-winning part in the book is From Pieces to Peace. So you have to buy the book in order for you to understand exactly what it means to come from being into so many different pieces and finally finding true peace.
I love it. I love it. And again, thank you. Again, my name is Laquita Parks, and my chapter in the book, and yes, the publisher wrote a chapter for the book as well. My chapter in the book is called The Ride of a Lifetime. And if you want to know more about the story, you got to buy the book. You have to buy the book. So, best-selling authors, let's get into it. So, how do you feel? How do you feel being a best-selling author? What was it like when you were in the so we go through a whole campaign. You know, we do some things prior to, and then we go through a whole campaign, and there are emails and text messages flying, and you know, somebody's saying this, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. Everybody's getting somebody's getting nothing, and people are like, what? So what was the process like? Because right now, we have several here who are first-time authors and who are also first-time best-selling authors. So I'm going to start with Macia. Macia, you are an author already. So how does it feel to be already be an author, but to now be a new best-selling author? How does that feel?
I'm excited, and what it is doing is making me want to push my children's book even more. So I am so excited, and I have other books that are inside of me, and I am just ready and willing to do whatever I need to do so that those books also can become best-selling.
And listen, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, what's the name of that children's book?
The name of it is A World Without Me.
A World Without Me. And you guys see how A World Without Me and From Pieces to Peace, how that can kind of intertwine. Mm-hmm. Okay. There are no mistakes, guys. No mistakes. All right. Desiree, how do you feel about being a new best-selling author?
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I haven't stopped smiling since I've been wanting to write a book for a very long time and never really had the courage to do it because I didn't know, I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't have anybody that was really encouraging me to do it. Not seriously anyway, but and I just didn't know how much work it was going to entail as far as, you know, whether I can handle it or not. And so many things going on in my life, you know, which includes very hard sleep issues. And I was like, can I even write a book as much as I'm trying to take a nap somewhere? It's just, and then dealing with a teenager at the time. And I don't know, but now I have a lot more time on my hands because my son has gone into the military now. So I'm sitting around and I'm thinking, I could really work hard on this. And I think you were a big part of why I went ahead and did it, because we were talking one day and you was like, it's not as hard as you think and I can help you. And you just gave me a really good feeling that it was something that could be done. And I haven't had that in a really long time. So I appreciate you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. The hard part's over.
Yeah.
The hard part's over. It's over. It's over. Miss Mary, thank you, Desiree. Miss Mary is a multiple published author. So how does it feel to be a best-selling author?
It feels real great because I have been saying for years I was going to write my memoirs. And so Middle Child, Middle Girl is the beginning of that journey of writing my memoirs. And what I decided through this project, that Middle Child, Middle Girl is the first quarter of my life. So I have 3 more books to generate because I'm now in the 4th quarter. So anyway, look forward to more about my journey, because it's been a journey.
Yes. And Miss Mary, how many books have you published prior to our journey from girls to women?
I believe 7, including all the anthologies I've participated in.
Yes, absolutely. So congratulations. So exciting. So exciting. Miss Carolyn Coleman. Now, Carolyn Coleman is not new to this process. She is not new to this bestseller stage. How does it feel adding another bestseller? How many does this make, Carolyn?
I hate to say it. I think it's 5. I think it's 5.
You might be 6. What you mean? You hate to say it?
Well, I mean, I say that because I guess I'm no longer keeping count at this point in time, but it is still the thrill of victory because it's another accomplishment. Mm-hmm. And as authors, creatives, however you want to deem us, as you say, we all have a story to tell. And when you do these anthologies, it just pulls more and more out of you. So it is not like, oh, here we go. No, it is, let's go, let's buckle up, let's get ready for the ride, because they're all different.
Yes.
You know, so I'm just by you guys talking about your titles, I am so interested in reading them. They sound so phenomenal. Just the titles have already gotten me.
See, I'm telling you, they are amazing, amazing. And Carolyn, before we move on from you, I'm going to pick at you for a second, because I remember when we did, and Carolyn, so Carolyn is a Pay Pro V author as well, but Carolyn and I have worked on multiple projects, including some speaking engagements. And Carolyn is an amazing person. Carolyn she got some amazing things going on, some amazing things. So if you're in the Alabama area on January 15th, is it January 15th or 25th? 14th, January 14th. Okay, go on down to the polls and participate in that special election. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying. But Carolyn and I've worked on some projects, and I remember the last anthology, and I published most of the ones that we worked on. And Carolyn's like, I ain't doing no more anthology. I'm not doing no more. Not doing no more. And then I looked up and I was like, wait, Carolyn participating. So what made you say yes to this one?
It's the same thing. The title got me. And, you know, and it made me reminisce about my childhood. So from the journey from girls to women, and it is a journey, you know, it doesn't just happen overnight. You go through a lot of processes. We've all been there, you know, bumps in the road, hiccup, say, oh, why did that happen? You know, so your growing process from girls to women, no matter what your story is, you can't put it all in a book. No, you can try, but you can't put it all in a book.
Absolutely.
So the title got me, just hooked me right in.
Awesome.
And the
Awesome. Thank
reason,
you.
ladies, I said I was not going to do an anthology, I wanted to take a break. You working with Laquita, you ain't taking no break. Do y'all hear me? So
You
don't think that y'all there, okay? She's gonna come up with something else, and you're gonna say, okay. So that's why I said, oh no,
It's
I
good
need to
stuff.
take a
It's good
break.
stuff.
And
It's good
it
stuff.
is good
It's good
stuff.
stuff.
I
And I
mean,
appreciate the need for a break. I really do. I respect that. I tell you, I love Carolyn. Carolyn is one of my favorite people. And if you get to know her, she will be one of your favorite people as well. Straight no chaser.
thank you,
Straight no
Laquita. I
chaser.
appreciate that.
So I'm going to go on over to Miss Inez. Miss Inez, you are not new to this. This is your second bestseller. How does it feel?
The first one was international bestseller. So, for those of you who have not heard of She Said Yes to Herself Unapologetically, you need to purchase that book as well, not because I'm telling you to, but because of the wonderful ladies who wrote that anthology. And then now Laquita's, I'm tired of writing. I thought I liked to write, but Miss Laquita has you do it like Miss Carolyn said. She'll have you do everything, but it's a good push. It's not that, it makes you think about your life. It makes you think about what you can do, not what you can't do. It makes you feel like a full person. It just makes you want to do more, and then also bring other people along with you to on that journey. So now that I'm busy, but it's like, you got this ready, you got that ready. Because I wrote my little piece in one night. Okay, one night. It's like, let me write this thing before this woman don't love me no more. But this 388 page anthology, I'm sure has things that are going to make you cry, going to make you laugh, going to make you think, going to make you like, okay, I can do this again. And I just appreciate Laquita for pulling me along, yanking me, pushing me, and doing everything else to make a better person out of me. Thank you, Laquita. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You guys make me better. Dr. Patricia Lawton, how you feel? How you feel? That beautiful smile. How you feel?
Wow, this has truly been a ride. It's been a ride. I feel like I've been on a roller coaster.
Good one. Good though, right? It's a good roller coaster though, right?
Yeah.
I love that because it goes sometimes it's not always easy. It isn't easy. I know from my standpoint, it isn't easy. So, you working with multiple personalities, but we'll get into that. So thank you, Dr. Lawton. Jacqueline Jackson, how you feel? How do you feel being a new author and a new best-selling author? How do you feel? Number one, I have to keep saying number one best-selling because there are multiple ways you can be a best-selling author. So let me say number one best-selling author. Jacqueline? Did I lose her?
Oh, thanks for having me on again. And I'm just excited about tonight. My heart is beating fast, then it's beating slow. It's like I'm going through so much in nanoseconds. I'm cool, I'm calm. Then I'm acting like I'm all that. I'm acting like I'm Jacqueline Onassis, who I was named after. And then all of a sudden I'm saying, oh my God, is this real? It's almost like the bride is coming. The bride is coming, or the baby's coming. They're around the corner. And I'm like, oh my God. Then I'm having tears. Then I'm laughing. And then I'm seriously like pinch myself. I'm like, girl, you did it. And I'm just so thankful for this journey. I'm excited to do it some more. I hope she pulled me on into some more. I'm excited. And I hadn't talked to Laquita, and my middle name is Laquita. So when we first met, that was a big part of a topic of a conversation. And I was born in the 66 year, 1966. So to have the name Laquita was very unique. So I'm just excited. Thank you, Laquita. pull me again, tap on me again.
Absolutely.
And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Absolutely. 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 I'm here for it. I'm here for it. All right, Miss Shanita, last but certainly not least, how's it feel? How does it feel?
Oh, I felt like I just hit the lottery. You know, when I think about all the pain I went through, I remember what God said He would reward you double for your trouble. So I feel like it was worth the wait.
Mm.
I know being able to be a part of this is going to touch so many people's lives with all of the stories that we have within the book. So I'm excited. Like, I keep looking at my phone every day at the picture. so, so I even had to make it my profile for Facebook. I was like, okay, you did it, girl. Nobody can't tell you nothing now. So
You
I'm
can't
excited
take it
about
away
it.
from you. I
Nope,
thank
nope.
you. Can't take it away from you. You know, and it's a process. So I thank you guys for, you know, for going through the process. And everybody, there are so many different publishers, and Carolyn has worked with other publishers before, and Mary has worked with other publishers before, and everybody has their own way of doing things. And I have my own way. I have my own process. And everybody's process is their process. You learn how to do things and you're comfortable with it and you go with that. But it isn't an easy process. And sometimes it can be tedious. Sometimes it can be, you know, there's that roller coaster, Dr. Lawton. It's a roller coaster of emotions because for me, I'm working with each of you and I'm trying to help you pull out what you need to pull out. Even for myself, I still have to I have to write my part. I can't ask you guys to do something that I don't do myself. And I've written a lot, so the challenge for me is writing something different, having something different. And because there's so much to our lives that we can write about and we can share about. So every book that Carolyn has been in has been different. So every book there's a piece of herself. She's writing a piece of herself. She's sharing a piece of herself because even in this 388 page book, the chapters are amazing. Even with that, it's just a little piece of each individual. Those pages are just a little piece. And even though you told a lot of your story, it's just a little piece, not nearly who you are. So the process is, so now the hard part is over and you can breathe. And now all you have to do is tell your story, let people get the book to get your story, talk about your story, share your story, because somebody's waiting on the other end of that story so they can get healing from your story. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want us to talk about your chapters. And so you can share a little bit about your chapter. You can read a little bit from your excerpt. And let's talk about it. So I'm going to start with Macia. Read a little, just a little bit on your chapter. You can read your excerpt, and then we'll talk about it. And yes, there will be questions.
So instead of me reading, I'll just give you a little brief summary of what it is.
That's fine.
So mine is just a little glimpse of different events that happen from birth up until, from conception up until now. Because from understanding what my mother went through, my mother was conceived through rape. And then I didn't find out who my father was through Ancestry.com until I was like 45 years old. So what my chapter is showing how all of these pieces were put into place and they are now coming together so that I can be my best self. So in this lifetime, I was told that I came here to gain peace. And I'm talking about that peace that most people never get to understand. And to truly say that everything that happened to me those pieces are now coming into place. And I am now truly learning how to gain this peace, not reacting to life, but responding to life, not just doing in life, but learning how to be beautiful, full of myself, full of the highest self of who I am. And that's what my chapter is. So the reason I say buy the book is because listening to all the other ladies and them taking just little pieces of what is happening in their life, you want to get the book so that you can understand them better, understand us better. as sisters, as those that have gone through and those that are trying to make a way that's better and a little bit more smoother for the ones that's coming after us. So that's what mine is. It's those pieces that were scattered about and things and events that happened that is now molding me into the being that I am supposed to be.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. So Macy, when I read your story, and we've talked about this, so I've had conversations with all of you guys. When I read your story, and so just a little background, Macy and I went to high school together, and we went to high school together, but I didn't know her in high school. I knew of her in high school, but we didn't know each other in high school. And so when I read her story, there were some things that I recognized from high school. And then there were some things that she was going through in high school that I wouldn't have known unless I was close to her. And it was like, wow, 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 wow. So as I read your story, and I could see it, and we've talked about this, I can see the pieces. And then as we get to the middle of your story, and then we get to the end of your, to the midway point, you can see those pieces start to find you. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like you throw them in the wind and then the wind blows it back at you. Mm-hmm. So I could see the wind blowing your pieces back to you. And then you started to formulate a whole piece. And PACE. It was amazing. So one quick question for you, and don't mind me, y'all, I'm having my own private summer here. So if I start fanning, it is what it is, because we've gone from girls to women. Okay. All right. That's part of the process. So in your,
yes.
when you were writing, what made you come up with the title From Pieces to Peace? Why that title?
One, because that's what I've been searching for a long time. It's almost as if I knew, even as a little girl, and even though I was going through all those things that I was going through, there was still that little quiet voice that would tell me everything is going to be all right. And so it's like when those pieces were coming together, and sometimes they would even be scattered about, more with the marriage, with moving from Atlanta to Alabama, leaving from being a school teacher to becoming a farmer, so many different things, or so many different pieces, but all those things that were happening, I still, even though turmoil was going on in my head and I was thinking and thinking and thinking, there was still always that quiet, still voice and that peace that was in my heart that was like, you're searching for something. Don't keep searching for it. It's going to find you. And so that's what's been happening, and the more that I sit and I be still and I just allow the clearing of things and just allow that voice to come to me, I'm gaining that peace, and I'm moving from being just the human me to being more of the spiritual me of who I really am. And so that was why I said, those pieces, I needed those pieces to be scattered. I needed those things to happen to me, because in those things happening to me now, I'm who I need to be for my children and for the children that I teach. So, just being able to bring peace in my home, peace at my job, but I can't have that unless, or do that unless I am peace myself. I can't expect for other people to be peace or anything like that when chaos is on the inside of me. So that's what I've been searching for. And now I'm learning to just allow, those pieces to come together and to make the masterpiece, so that I can have that peace.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Therefore, life would be nothing in a world without you.
It would be nothing without me.
It would be nothing. Thank you so much. Jacqueline Jackson, hello, food.
Hey.
Hello, food. Share with us what your chapter is about.
My chapter is about food and me overindulging in food and didn't realize I was overindulging in food and not being modest, but just I was always complimented on how cute I was. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, she's so beautiful. And I would eat and eat and eat. Everywhere I went, I would eat, and I didn't know I was fat until someone called me fat. And it shocked me. It stunned me. It made me shrivel up. It took my confidence away. It took my confidence away drastically. To one day, that was as a child. And then when I got in middle school, the word fat again. And I'm like, I didn't know I was fat. So I did something that I will never regret. And I started making myself throw up so I can lose weight. And that was the worst thing I could have ever done because I couldn't swallow any food at all. And I messed up. She was so hurt. She was crying. She couldn't believe that I would go to that extent. And she was like, "You did that?" And I had to admit to it. I couldn't lie because we're in the doctor's office and we wonder why I can't even swallow my own saliva. It's because I had damaged my esophagus. But now that I got through that, that was very painful. It's mentally and emotionally. And so as I dealt with the process of my brother being sick, I wanted to learn how to help feed him and guide him along the way and let him not die so soon for just because of food. And he was definitely a meat and potato type of guy. So one day I was introduced to cabbage in a whole new way, and it was definitely a deposit from God. And he told me and showed me, this is going to be your new beginning, and you're going to feed this to your brother, and you're going to help him along the way. So now I am the owner of a business called Cabbage on the Go, and I make all kind of tantalizing salads with different flavors, jerk flavors, sweet and spicy, just many flavors that you wouldn't even think of. And I'm showing myself and others and children how to eat, and especially men and children, because men and children have a big impact of what's on the table. So I'm going to go through this journey, and I'm going to take as many people with me, show them how to live a lot healthier, and realize that their food is their vitamin, and it's a great impact in their life. So they can't just eat anything all the time and expect it just to take a bunch of supplements. No, your food is your vitamin. So come on with me. Cabbage on the Go is the title of the food business. But I'm just so happy to learn that Hello Food can make up any party, wake up any presence at any event. Food is always a welcome sensation to every tongue, every palate. I'm thankful.
Awesome. Oh, you know what? You know, your story, Hello Food, and so a little background. I met Jacqueline some years ago when I worked for the Kroger Company, and a part of my job there, I was the wellness co-chair for the wellness committee. So for Black History Month, we had African Americans to come in, and we did food, and Jacqueline was one of our vendors, and she brought in her cabbage salads, and they were delicious. They really were delicious. And so, Jacqueline, as I was reading your story, and you shared more today than you shared in your story, so that was good. I wanted to ask, when you were writing your story, I know it was the first time you've written. So why did you name your chapter Hello Food instead of Cabbage on the Go?
Because Hello Food is, to me, is interesting because soon as you put food on the table, it's saying hello. That item is saying hello, and Cabbage on the Go is definitely saying hello. And I must brag, it's because God gave it to me. Seriously, every time people taste it, they always say, "I was just giving you an opportunity because you sound nice, your presentation is nice, but I had no idea this salad was going to taste this good. They say salad, some say coleslaw. And this salad or coleslaw, when it hits your palate, it will make you say hello. It is very exciting on your palate. Those vegetables and fruit are really dancing on your palate. So I can't think of no other way to say hello. Hello, food. Hello, cabbage on the go.
Hello, food. I love that. And I love your confidence. I love your confidence. I love your confidence, because if you don't think your salads are good, ain't nobody gonna think they're good. And they not. I love your confidence. Thank you so much. Guys, you have to buy the book to get the rest of the story. And we're gonna find out how they can connect with you if she's in the Atlanta area, so how they can connect with you to get some of those salads on the go. All right, thank you, Jacqueline.
And Miss Carolyn, I'm in Alabama selling the salad often in Montgomery and Birmingham.
Oh, Carolyn. You're on mute, Carolyn.
Oh, well, yeah, we're gonna have to connect. Yeah. I'm not far from Birmingham. Now I'm about a couple of hours from Montgomery, but I'm not far from Birmingham at all. So I would love to, because I was getting ready to ask if you had a recipe in your book. So I was like, "Ooh,
that would have been a good idea."
Me hungry. She had me hungry.
It would have. When you do your cookbook, that would be another thing. I'm not sure who Ashley is. So I don't know who Ashley is, so we shouldn't share the link. So I'm not sure who Ashley is.
I'm Shanita's daughter. I'm sorry.
Oh, hi, Ashley. So Carolyn, we are with you now. So give us a little bit about your chapter.
Okay, let me just read an excerpt if you let me just get started with that.
Okay.
When it comes to negativity, I must ignore the naysayers. Their negative talk and criticism is draining. As I grew older, I realized they would talk about, if they talk about them, they'll talk about you. That is all they do. It took me a minute to figure that out. But once I did, I said to myself, this disease of hate does not belong to me. It is a heavy burden, but you must not let those toxic folks into your life, even if they're family. Life is too short to hang around people who throw shade instead of love. As the saying goes, there are 3 places you can go when it comes to me: out of my way, over there, and out of my lane.
Wow. So Carolyn, why that title?
Guess what? I grew up.
Yes.
Because when you're young, you're innocent. You're not exposed to a lot of things. You just think everybody gets along. That's the way it's supposed to go. But as you grow up, you're like, oh, wow, I was sheltered. Why did this happen? Because, when you were growing up, you couldn't be in the room with adults when they were talking or just sitting quietly. They didn't have to have a conversation. What you doing in here? So your place was not with them. And, I think sometimes we need to get back to that, because some of these kids know more than I do. And I'm still, kind of shocked by that. Let them be kids. They will grow up as they grow up. Some people weaponize children. They turn them against this person, turn them against that person. And the kids are so conflicted and confused. And then you want to know what's wrong with them. Well, it's you. Whatever you pour into them is what you get out of them. We were always taught to stay in a child's place, go outside and play, love your cousins, love your brothers, love your sisters, because you're family. That's what you have to do. And that's basically what my mom has a big family. My dad has a big family. So I'm surrounded by people as I was growing up. A lot of people. At one time, I was like, "Is everyone our cousin?" That was our question,
Right.
and the answer was no. And I was like, "How can you tell?" Because everywhere we go, this is your cousin, your cousin, your cousin. So when you start growing up, you miss it to a degree, because guess what? I miss some of those cousins because they grow up, go a different route. And we're meeting now at some of these family reunions, and we're like, "Where were you?" And we were all over the place. Where were you? So it's good to grow up with that family bond, but it kind of keeps you sheltered, but it keeps you protected at the same time. And then when you run into situations where people, "I just don't like you. I just don't like you." You're like, "What did I do? All I did was show up." And you're a kid and you don't know how to process that. You don't know what to do with it, so you're kind of wounded, and you learn to stay in it. Then you go back in a different corner. You couldn't be around adults. Now you can't be around some children because they're mean, so to speak. So, but as you grow up and you matriculate through, you learn how to handle yourself. And the adults tell you how to handle yourself. Behave, be nice, but you don't have to be anybody's fool. Don't let people just beat on you. Don't let them beat you down. Then you're trying to process, well, how do I be nice? Don't let people beat me down. It's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot to process. But
Right.
hey, I grew up. I figured it out, y'all, or so I think. Okay.
I love that. I love that. We came up in an age where you get out of grown folk business. Don't be sitting here talking about grown folks' business. And you definitely better not go out the house and tell what you just heard in grown folks' business. That's a no. That's the quickest way. I'm from the South, and my grandmama didn't play. She was from the spanking era. Okay. She didn't do gentle parenting. My grandma didn't do gentle parenting. And she didn't have to do it but one time. She didn't have to not gentle parent you too many times. She didn't have to do it but one time. And you got the message. You got the message. So thank you so much, Carolyn. So we're going to go to Miss Mary. Middle girl, middle child, middle girl.
Like Carolyn was talking about being from a large family. I was from a large family on my father's side and my mother's side, and from my immediate family. My parents gave birth to 10 children, 5 girls and 5 boys. So I'm the middle girl, but I claim the middle child because my oldest brother died before the last 2 children were born. So it started to shrink. And so we're now down to 4. There are 4 of us living. And there's 1 older than me and 2 younger. So I'm still in the middle. So, and being in the middle is not a bad place to be, because my parents had a chance to get some learning on how to raise kids before I came. And also there were kids that I could teach a few things and I could learn from the older ones. So being a middle child is not all that bad. So anyway, that's kind of why I chose the title, is being the middle girl. And also for a long time, I was the middle child because my second oldest brother just passed two years ago. And you got a chance to meet him.
I did. And I got a chance to taste them collard greens.
Yes. So it's just that when you're in the middle, you get it from both sides, but that toughens you up. That makes you deal with a lot of things. So, and that has enabled me to travel and live around the world and deal with people and still not lose anything and have that confidence. So they toughen me up. And so I'm not so thin-skinned. So, it's a whole lot of being a middle child if you receive it in a positive note.
Ms. Mary, when you were writing when I was reading your chapter and I read Inez's chapter, and she talked about being, scaredy cat, and then you talked about you being a scaredy cat too, and you staying close to your mama. It's something similar. You guys have almost a similar story, and it's amazing how our stories connect. When you guys read the books, when you guys read everybody's chapter, and I encourage you to all read each other's chapters, you're going to see a little bit of yourself in everybody's story. Even if you haven't walked that whole journey, you're going to see a little bit of stuff, a little bit. And guess what? I'm a middle child.
I was going to ask that question.
I
How
am a
many of
middle
the
child.
authors are considered have younger siblings or older siblings? How many on the line have that?
I'm the middle child. Middle child.
I'm a middle child.
Middle child syndrome. Well, yeah.
Yes.
Shanita, are you a middle child? No, you're baby. Babies are different, y'all.
Yes.
And firstborns are different too.
Firstborns are different.
Firstborns
You are
are
absolutely
very different.
right. You are
Yes.
absolutely right. So, Miss Mary,
I'm a baby.
Miss Mary, tell us, and a little background on Miss Mary. I met Miss Mary because Miss Mary is also a published author through Paprovipublishing, but she did an amazing project. She does some amazing things with centenarians, and she wrote some books on her mother. But I met her when I published a book on this amazing woman named Lucille. Oh my goodness, Shazer.
Yes.
Lucille Shazer. And it was called How to Live Well Past 100. And I had an amazing opportunity to meet this lady who lived to be 109, right?
Yes.
Wow.
And I had a chance to meet with her and many times and to see her and sing with her. And I say sing with her. Sing with her. She knew she had all of her faculties until the last day. She knew where she was, sing with her. And she loved herself some me. She
Yes.
did. And I
Yes, she
loved
did.
myself some her. So I was blessed. I was truly, truly blessed by that. So Miss Mary, and I've had a chance to go and spend time with Miss Mary. It's, you know people, I can say, you know what, I know you, but when you get a chance to spend time with people in their element, you can say you know them. So when people invite you into their space, be thankful for that because you don't always get an opportunity for that. And so Miss Mary invited me into her space, into her home. We've hung out, we've gone to eat, and it was just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So same thing with Carolyn. Carolyn, I spent my birthday in Birmingham with Carolyn, and she showed us around. We had a ball. We had a ball. So thank you so
I'd
much.
like to
Miss Mary.
extend an invitation to the other authors. We have a beautiful lake here, and I took Laquita out there to celebrate. It's a beautiful area,
Yes, it
so
is.
Lake Blackshear. So we can come down and do a retreat here at the
Absolutely. It
lake.
is beautiful. It is beautiful. It's a nice restaurant. We had a good time down there. We had a good time. So thank you so much, Miss Mary. We're looking forward to part 2, 3, and 4 of the
Yes.
rest of the memoir.
Yes.
And but before we go on to the next person, Miss Mary, tell them about your show. You have a show too, right?
Oh, definitely. Now, forgive me. I have a show called Our Global Family, and it's on Zundra TV Network, and it broadcasts every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will be looking for a guest. I'm getting ready to plan my second season. So if anybody would like to be a guest on my TV show, Our Global Family, just contact me. Laquita, are you going to share all the contacts with?
I will.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so to get the rest of Miss Mary's story, you have to do what, guys?
Buy the book.
Buy the book.
Buy the book. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Mary. Desiree. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Desiree, tell us the name. Before I start in on you. Tell us about your chapter. Share a little bit about your chapter.
My chapter is called When You Ask God Why. And it was about my life in the military. I am a U.S. Navy veteran. And I was stationed in Florida for 2 years. And I probably would have stayed in had it not been for a lot of the experiences that I went through being in the Navy. And I guess it was probably more bad than good. So it was really a decision maker for me because my plan was to go in and to stay in and retire and, just travel and see the world like a lot of military people do, but just didn't work out that way.
Wow. So she's not telling y'all the whole story, okay? Because she's not supposed to. Because you got to buy the book. But I have a question. So when you were finally cleared, when you were finally cleared of the charges that almost landed you in prison for life, what was that feeling like?
It was surreal, I guess. I mean, I really don't know the word. I was surprised, relieved, thankful. I don't know. I can't even describe all the feelings I was going through because even though I knew what the outcome should have been, and it did turn out to be the outcome did come out the way it should have, I just didn't believe the way this world works sometimes that it would actually work in my favor. You know, and it's, I guess a lot of people were like, well, you didn't have any faith or you didn't we all have times where we just, you know, should have more faith than we do, but we're just scared, you know. And scared, I guess, is probably an understatement of what I was feeling at the time because I was being accused of quite a bad thing. And you know, it was very, very, very hard. I was alone. I had nobody to talk to, nobody. And it was just a very hard thing to go through. And I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. I even told my son who's in the military now about what I went through, just to let him know how things could get if you're not careful, if you're not always, you know, thinking 2 steps ahead, always doing, you know, paying attention to detail which is one of the first things they teach you when you join the military is pay attention to detail because little details can get you killed. They can get you in trouble. And I slipped up and you know, and it almost got me, you know, put away for a very long time. So I just thank God, you know, I am here today and it worked out, but it could have easily went the other way.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. You guys have got to read her story. As I was reading your story, as I was going through it again, and we talked about it, you know, she shared her story with me, and I was like, you got to write a book, you got to write a book. But it's different. So you guys, there are two things. When you are writing your story, when you're sharing, when you're talking to somebody about your story, that's one thing. But when you actually put it on paper, and people read it, that's a whole different ball game. When I read her story, I was going through those emotions because I was like, oh my goodness, I could not believe it. And it's like from the rip. And sometimes you can do things and be targeted and you don't have anything, no, just because somebody doesn't like you. So thank you so much. Desiree, I thank you for being transparent enough to share your story because there are a lot of people I work with and I try to talk to a lot of military people who cannot share their story. My uncle went through a lot in the military, and before he passed away, I tried to get him to share his story. He was like, baby girl, you're doing a good thing, but I can't talk about it. And he died and he kept that story inside of him. So thank you so much for being transparent and just being brave enough to share. I appreciate it. You guys got to do what?
Buy the book.
Buy the book.
Gotta buy the book. Gotta buy the book. Thank you so much, Desiree. Miss Patricia.
Yes.
Dr. Patricia Lawton. Tell us the name of your chapter.
My chapter is Walking on the Edge of Purpose. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that chapter. Talk about it. Come on.
I'm gonna tell you something. I sit here and I still get filled up. Not only having the opportunity to write the story, but to remember it and almost like reliving some things. And for a number of years, I was shame-based. You walk around on eggshells, you walk around holding everything in because what is the next person going to think about me, or how are they going to view me? So you put up this facade to the point where this is how I want everyone to view me rather than this is who I am. And even though I started to tear down that wall years ago, still there was still another veil, so to speak, that hadn't been pulled back. And this opportunity to write was a chance for me to actually pull back and just say, hey, this is it. This is who I am. Like it or not, here I am.
Wow. Wow. I love that. When I read your story, you mentioned a roller coaster.
Yes.
When I read your story, I was right there with you. I was like, okay, where we going? Where we going? And as you were driving, I was in the car with you. I was feeling that anxiety. I was taking that Pepto-Bismol. I was going there with you. Because I could relate to that. I could relate to that and relate to having so much inside of you that it nearly kills you. I can relate to that. I can also relate to somebody telling you you can't do something because they not doing nothing. And when you do something, sometimes when we do something, other people get upset with us because they don't want to do anything. So they don't want you to make them look bad.
Exactly.
And so not only do we have our fight to go through, we got to fight through that. And it's usually people that we love.
Exactly.
So
Oh, wow.
I love your story. So much respect for you because your story was like perseverance. You like, hey, I got tickled when I was like, she ear hustling on the bus. She ear hustling. Yeah, her ear hustling. But it worked. It worked.
Yes.
Because you know
Yes.
what? Sometimes we're waiting for God. Because I hear people all the time saying, God is doing a new thing. God isn't doing a new thing. God's word is clear. God is the same God. So we're just, sometimes we grow and we're just hearing him for the first time. So it may be new to us, but he's not doing a new thing. So I appreciate your story. I love your story. And I'm biased because I love everybody's story. And I can do that because I know everybody's story. So I want to say thank you. And there were so many pieces. I love your growth. And from where, and when you talk about shame, you turned that around full circle.
Yes.
But I do understand sometimes things still haunt us, but your story, Mary's story, Desiree's story, Carolyn's story, Jacqueline's story, Macia's story, Inez and Shanita's story, there is somebody waiting on those stories. And I know this for fact because these stories have touched me. So Dr. Patricia Lawton, thank you so much for taking the roller coaster ride and trusting me to help you. And thank you to your son, Anthony, for making the referral. He just sent me a friend request too. I just saw it pop up. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Miss Inez, Miss Scaredy Cat to all that. Give us a little bit about your chapter. Tell us a little bit about your chapter.
Okay, before we do, are we going to hear about your chapter?
Yes, we are last.
Okay. I was wondering because you get pulling all this out of everyone that
But I can do that. The publisher can do that. That's the benefit of me being the publisher.
And you have the mic.
Absolutely. And now I pass the mic to you.
Thank you. Okay, mine is from Scaredy Cat to all that, almost. I'm not all that, but I'm just almost all that. But I'm going to read my excerpt because all these ladies, I can't wait to get to buy the book because all these stories you have me on the edge of just, like, how much is she going to tell us? Oh, darn, we got to buy the book. We got to wait for the book to come out. And so it's good to have you on the edge of the roller coaster and in pieces and, waiting on the food, having some popcorn, reading so all these stories of us, we come together. But mine is, I was just old scaredy cat. I was just old chicken, scaredy cat, whatever you want to call it. But from what I can remember as a child, I was such a scaredy cat. And I don't even like cats. But come to find out, as a spiritual animal, the cat teaches us to embrace our own sensitivity, to trust our own instincts and intuitive perceptions. It encourages us not to be afraid of exposing ourselves to the world, even if this sometimes means experiencing intense emotions or uncomfortable energies. I wish I would have known that as a child. I may not have been so afraid of everything and those around me. So in order for you to find out the rest about it, you know what you got to do? You got to buy the book. You can buy it in hard or soft copy or paperback, but you got to buy the book. And so I can't wait for that book to come out, even though it's on today's the last day. No, tomorrow. Today's the last day for the ebook, right?
The 7th. The
The
7th.
7th. Okay.
Right.
So if y'all want to get some parts of it, you still got the chance to look at it on ebook. But man, I want to have. I'm the old page turner.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
so that's that. I can't wait to find out about these wonderful ladies. And this is just a part of the anthology. We still have others,
Oh
that we
yeah,
have not
there are
heard from.
26 women in this book. So
Yes.
there are so many left in here. And Miss Inez, a question for you. So as your family was military, so you've had an opportunity to travel. What was the one place that you traveled that you could live there? You can pack up right now and go back there and live.
Well, being that man is in the office, here come that man. I would go to Spain. That's where I would go back to. And they accept us there. They are very friendly, very nice, and it's just a place I want to go. And so, if I change my address and it's in España, please come and visit me in Spain. Come see me in Spain. I will have a villa so y'all can stay with me in Spain if you have to get away. But that is the one place that just impressed me. And I was only in the 3rd grade. And so that really impressed me as I would love, love, love to
Wow.
go back to the Mediterranean countries, Greece, Spain, Portugal, those areas. But it was wonderful. But you got to buy the book to find out exactly what I'm
Yes.
talking about. So
Yes. Yes. Now, Macy, did you travel to Spain? Where did you travel to? Was it you? What country?
Mexico. I was
Mexico.
married to a Mexican.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Inez.
thank
Um,
you.
and she know I saved her for last, next to
She
me,
always does. Uh-huh.
next to me. Shanita. Come off mute, please.
Oh, okay.
Shanita. All right, guys. So, Shanita, tell us about your story. I inadvertently changed the title to Shanita's story. I didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident, but it was fitting. So it was on purpose. It was purposely on purpose. So
On
tell us
purpose
the
for
name of your
good. On purpose for good. The title fits the whole story. So I'm good with that. I'm not gonna say too much about my story. I'm not even gonna read the excerpt. It's about no matter what comes up against you, just keep pushing. That's what I'm gonna leave it because you're gonna have to buy the book.
Yeah. Got to buy. I done
Short and
created some
sweet.
monsters.
All right.
I created
I
some
like that,
monsters.
Miss Shanita.
I created some monsters. So I have questions, Shanita.
Yes.
So what have you learned from you? You've been through a lot. All of you ladies, every woman in the book has been through a lot. We have so many different stories where the ladies have been through. It's just amazing to see how beautiful we are with everything that we've gone through. So Shanita, how do you feel every day knowing that trauma tried to kill you?
I do it with a smile. Some people ask me, why do you smile? I said, if you know God before your tragedy, you can understand him through anything. And when I think about being that 6-year-old little girl who found the church on her own by herself, we grew up in what we would call back in the day projects. I could have been one of those kids on the back of a milk carton, but my God said no. But I know I look at myself kind of like Job, but you still know at the end it's all worth it. Sometimes you fall weak, and I fall weak. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a perfect day every day. But I just thank God for everything that I've been through. And I always ask God, why me? I said, when I do finish writing my full story, my title of my book is going to be God, why me?
Mm, mm.
So,
I am, thank you so much, Shanita. I am really, really full because like I said, I know the stories, and you guys who are listening to us live and who will go back and catch the replay, this is just a drop in the bucket. And these ladies have not even shared their whole story. So this is just a drop in the bucket. So we have some of the other chapter titles. The Me You See by Jacqueline Cox. surviving her cancer, the beauty God made me in, young girls, silence kills, speaking heals, rising from trauma. Throughout my journey, God was there. Grace through the storm, born fabulous, the darkest gray. Wow, I carried her with me. These are some amazing, amazing stories. And I'm not like them. Tracy's story, I'm not like them. Finding my delight. These are some, and all of these, the chapter titles are very interesting, but the stories themselves. So you have to buy the book. And my story, The Ride of a Lifetime. I'm going to share a little excerpt and then we'll wrap up. See, I've seen now, I'm getting ready to talk about myself. Now my voice won't let me act right. Okay. It's got to get some act right to it. So my story is, I broke my story into two sections. One is, in all of our lives, we've had some happy times. There's been some happy times and there's been some sad times. So no matter what we've gone through in our lives, we've all had some semblance of a happy time, some good time, whether it was short-lived, whether it was long. We've had some happy time. So I talk about the good times, and then I talk about the not so good times. So I'm going to share a little piece of the not so good times. As a child born to a teenage mother, the only time I can remember having a stable home was the 5 years we lived with my grandmother from the age of 9 until I was 14. Prior to that, we were evicted from every place we ever lived. As hard as my mom tried, she struggled financially, and having 3 children plus a child that required special attention and frequent trips to the doctor and one therapist or another wasn't easy. I recall clearly on more than one occasion walking up the street and getting off the bus and seeing our stuff on the street. These memories have lived in my mind since I was a child. After going through a horrible divorce, my goal was to make sure that my children had a stable environment. I never wanted to feel the pain of eviction. I never wanted them to feel the pain of eviction and homelessness. No matter what, no matter how I felt, no matter the level of pain, I made sure that my children had consistency and stability. My mother was what I call straight no chaser. She had no problem telling you exactly what was on her mind. If your feelings got hurt, it wasn't personal. It was just Sheila Gale or Sister Sledge, as my uncle affectionately called her. My mother liked to drink from as far back as I can remember. My mother was an alcoholic. To get the rest of the story,
you got to buy the book.
What happened when she picked that belt up and started hitting me with it? You got to buy the book. All right. So, guys, I'm telling you, I'm super excited. I cannot control myself. Our journey from girls to women is an absolutely amazing book. And I'm not saying that because I'm the publisher of the project. I'm very humbled by that, but we wouldn't have this book without your stories. And so thank you so much for allowing me to help you take your stories from a thought to a realization, even if it's just a little piece of you. And again, this #1 Amazon bestselling. Phenomenal. All right. So as we close, I want to go around quickly and tell everybody how they can connect with you. And just like 30 seconds, tell us what you're doing, what we can support you in, and how they can connect with you. And they need to connect with you. So you want to tell them how they connect with you and purchase the book. Okay. So I'm going to start with Dr. Patricia Lawton.
Hi, as I said before, my name is Dr. Patricia Lawton. You can reach me at patricia.lawton78@gmail.com. And that's about all I got to say.
Awesome. And Dr. Lawton, you'll be in Atlanta here.
Yeah, I will be there on the 14th.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Lawton. Dr. Lawton, will be here attending an event called Necessary Conversations. So, come on down to Atlanta and meet Dr. Patricia Lawton. All right. Miss Inez.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Inez, you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook under Anais Valcour, ANAISEVALCOUR. And you can find, well, I design clothes, so you can also go to www.anaisevvalcour.com. I'm also a blog talk hostess, which on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Miss Inez says, let's talk about it. We have Bible study every other Wednesday, and we have church on Sunday evenings, and it's 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I have a show in about a half hour, and you can call in at 877. What is the number? Oh, Lord. 845 241 9985. 845 241 9985. And tonight we're talking about Trump's and his cabinet, what's in it for us.
All
So
right.
this is part two. So these shows they go from 9 until sometimes one night we had a 7-hour show, and it's like I don't even know how I did it, but we had a 7-hour show one time. But in order to find out more about me, buy the book.
Buy the book. Buy the book.
Buy the
All
book.
right. Thank you so much, Miss Inez.
Thank you.
Macia?
You can contact me at Macia Bomani 2018 at gmail.com. And I just want to say this, ladies. I am so honored, one, for Laquita, how she has allowed God to use her in bringing us together. And I say that because with everything that we are experiencing and what we may be getting ready to experience, there is a reason for us being together and coming together. There is a reason for us reading each other's story so that we can get to know why people do what they do, how we are the way we are. And so my question to us tonight before I leave is you have to ask yourself, why now and why us?
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Desiree, thank you, Macia. Desiree?
You can reach me on Facebook on Desiree Williams. On Instagram, I'm Chef Desiree Moni, which is chef, the way you spell chef, then my first name Desiree, and then Moni. And also my email, D as in David, NICE_ at hotmail.com. It's DNice_ at hotmail.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Miss Mary?
Yes, you can find me at my website, mlbillconsultingllc.com, or email mlbillconsultant@gmail.com. Facebook is Mary L. Bill, and Instagram, same thing, Mary L. Bill. Just, I'm out there, okay? And I'm also on LinkedIn. So
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Miss Mary. Shanita?
Oh, I can be reached on Facebook at Being Shanita, BEING, space SHANITA, or I can be reached at Shanita Dawson at yahoo.com, SHANITA DAWSON. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much. Miss Jacqueline Jackson?
I can be reached at 678-251-6927. Again, 678-251-6927. Or you can look me up on Facebook at Cabbage on the Go, Cabbage on the Go at Cabbage on the Go as Jacqueline L. Jackson Homer. Got to get the book.
Got to get the book.
Go have a salad.
Got to get the book. Go have a salad.
Have a salad on me.
Have a salad. All right. Thank you, Jacqueline. Carolyn?
Yes, you can reach me on Facebook at Carolyn Coleman, Instagram, Carolyn_author. And if you'd like to be a guest on my podcast, Gentry's Journey, just inbox me and we can go from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carolyn. And again, listen, my name is Laquita Parks, CEO and founder of Paprovipublishing. And I can be reached all things social media. I am on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X under Paprovipublishing. You can contact me if you have a story, and I know that you do because 100% of everybody living and dead has a story. You can connect with me through my website. That's www.paprovipublishing.com. That's PAPROVI publishing.com. And listen, if all else fails, just Google me. Just Google me. And as we close, I want to say there's a song that I love, and it's fitting, and it's called Why Not Me? And that song says, when I look in the mirror, I see a girl beautifully broken, perfectly flawed. Beautifully broken, perfectly flawed. Why not me? I'm the perfect person to go through this storm. It won't break me. It won't kill me. I'll move on. I'll be strong, and I'll come back even better than before, because I never see this place anymore. So as we go through the next phase of our lives, we were beautifully broken girls, and now we're women. So whatever that journey looked like, everybody's journey was different, but that journey led us to where we are. So I'm very proud of our journey from Girls to Women anthology, because I truly believe every one of our steps has its own unique journey. And thank you guys so much for letting me share in your story. All right. So with that being said, it has been a plump, pleasing pleasure. Better than a triple decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And until next time, good night, guys.
Night.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right, I love it. I love it. Well, ladies, hold on. We got to do a quick promo again. We want to thank everybody on the planet who has been listening to this time with Laquita Parks and some of the most brilliant women on the planet. They are authors, they're business women, they're mothers, they're authors, and all business women. Just amazing. So we're so proud and excited for them. But guess what, Dr. Parks? I wanted to also make sure that those out there that don't have that book yet, there's organizations of women, associations of women, there's groups of women that don't have their anthology yet. Guess what they got to do? They got to contact Dr. Parks. So I want to encourage every woman on the planet that does not have their book or anthology, together with other women, to contact Laquita Parks, Dr. Parks, at payprovipublishing.com. This is powerful because what she's doing, she's putting a collage together of awesome women. And guess what? There's other women on the planet. Matter of fact, half the planet are women, I found out. Isn't that wonderful? Half the planet is women. So there's about 5 billion women on the planet that need to contact, in my opinion, contact Dr. Parks to talk about their book and talk about the anthology. So ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Every Story Has Its Own Journey. Oh man, had me crying over here, ladies and gentlemen, as well. And our journey from Girls to Women anthology, it's coming. Get your budget out, guys. It is not free, so you got to be able to do that. Purchase that right as soon as possible. Also, too, Dr. Parks, I want to encourage everybody out there that has a podcast, has a television network, media, any podcast, all the above. You need to invite these women on your program as well to tell their story on your platform. So I want to make sure that everybody on the planet gets a chance to hear their wonderful stories. That's not only for them, but it's transforming for others. So I had to get that in there, Doc, because we know there's more books out there. There's more anthology that need to be written. But I want you guys to go to Publishing, payprovipublishing.com to book your time for 2025, 2026, 2027, 2020, and all of the above. All right.
I receive it.
Amen. With that said, that's all I wanted to say.
Sign it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're going to make it happen in Jesus' name. So we thank you so much. Well, Laquita, any final remarks there before we close out? Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. If you are in the Atlanta area, Riverdale, Georgia is right next to Atlanta. Join us on Saturday, December 14th from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Riverdale Library Northwest Branch. Wow. And meet some of these amazing authors. We are going to be having necessary conversations. Meet Dr. Patricia Lawton, meet Desiree Williams, meet Jacqueline Jackson, meet the publisher, Laquita Parks, as we go and we discuss what goes on behind closed doors, stay behind closed doors, that's killing us. It's killing us. So we're going to talk about some necessary conversations, and it's open to the public. It's free. Join us. We'd be happy to have you.
All right. Thank you so much, Doc. Well, I want to give everybody a chance to wave us out as we get ready to close out this network here. If you would wave us out, ladies. Thank you so much, everybody on the planet, for joining us. We'll see you next time on Paprovipublishing with Dr. Laquita Parks. God bless you, everybody. We'll see you.